Today we are going to talk about a topic that people may not see as a big deal. Your awareness about here and now, knowing what surrounds you, knowing what you are thinking about, knowing your environment. That is what I mean by improving your awareness. A Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, once said, "Great wisdom looks like stupidity." What is this guy talking about? Your awareness? Am I not aware of what is happening? People might ask. But you may not know what is around you. You may just be there on autopilot. Autopilot is you're just moving to a direction automatically. Now, as Muslims, I'm a Muslim, we have a great teacher, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said the greatest jihad is a battle. The greatest battle is the battle you fight with your soul. The battle you fight with your soul. The battle, the struggle you have with your soul. Fighting the evil within you. Everybody has that struggle. It's not limited to 1, 2, 3 people. Your thoughts coming through, some are positive, some are negative. The greatest battle you will have or you have is the fight with your soul. How? Because not everything you do is righteous. Righteous, I mean things that are positive. Sometimes you do things that annoy people. Sometimes you do things that please people. Sometimes you do things that annoys you. Sometimes you do things that pleases you. This is the battle that we are talking about. This here and now, the thoughts you are having here and now, being aware of that is very key to your personal development. This thing may look a bit, very simple. But if you can be aware what is coming through your mind and select those thoughts that serve your purpose, then you are one step ahead. Ahead of who? Of those who do not have that awareness. Another great saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, the strongest amongst you is one who controls his anger. How can you control your anger? You can control your anger when you know your emotion, when you know the thoughts that you are processing that will trigger that emotion of anger. That is still, we are on awareness, knowing what you are thinking, knowing your environment, knowing the people around you. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the strongest amongst you is the one who controls his anger. The strongest amongst you is the one who controls his anger. You can control your anger when you know that you are getting angry. Then you can cool down, control yourself. That is being aware of your thought, being aware of the people surrounds you, being aware of your environment. Self-awareness, environmental awareness, people awareness is key to your success. Again, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, The best amongst you are those who have the best manners and character. Manners and character comes through being aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your attitude. The key here, today we are talking about, is being aware of yourself, your environment, your surroundings. That is key. Be aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts translate into your actions. Your actions translate into your character. This is how it is. Why would you take the time to study these materials? Why will I take time to do this research, come back and tell you why? Two reasons. Number one, primarily, is to improve myself. By repeating and teaching you this material, I'm teaching myself. Number two, I'm improving you. I'm teaching you. And when I teach you, I'm improving myself as well. So, if it is your first time you are coming across this material, this video, please hit subscribe and turn on notification. This is a channel for you to grow. You cannot be a great leader if you have not grown as a person. And we are growing you. I'm growing you so that I'm helping you to grow so that you can also be a great leader. You have responsibility. This is your responsibility to help yourself grow. People can give you resources. People can teach you materials. But ultimately, it comes down to your willingness to take the steps of personal growth. No leadership without personal growth. No wealth without personal growth. No family relations, no good family relations without personal development. This is key for you to be happy, for you to be peaceful thought. And one thing people need to be very careful about is how they think. Be keen on your thoughts. Keep guard of what you are thinking about. Watch the thoughts that are coming through in your mind. The question is, what do you think about most of the time? Because that is the key to understanding your life and where you are going to. If you understand, if you know what you think about most of the time, then you will understand your life and where you are heading to. We need to be very careful where we let our thoughts wander and spread to, for they determine not only how we see the world, but also who we become in the process. There is a quote by Frank OUTLAW. He is an American. He was an American, and he was the founder of Below Supermarket in 1961. He said, watch your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words. Watch your words because your words become your actions. Watch your actions, because your actions become your habits. Watch your habits. Be careful with your habits, because your habits become your character. Watch your character, because your character becomes your destiny. Never underestimate the power of your thought. We may not be able to control what comes into our minds, the ideas that flow into our minds, but one thing we can control is what to entertain and dwell upon, expound. Spend a lot of time thinking about that idea. This is the difference. The most successful people in the world are those who are conscious of what they think about. The first step actually is to be aware. You don't need to do a lot. You just be aware the kind of thoughts that are flowing through your mind. The next step is to be selective on the thoughts that you want to expound, you want to entertain, you want to action on. This is where the difference comes. Power, wealth, and health are not accidental achievements. Power, wealth, and health are not in any way accidental achievements. These are conscious, deliberate struggle. You make conscious and deliberate, and then you struggle towards moving closer to your goal. These are not some things that just happen out of nowhere. You just find yourself successful. It doesn't work like that. You have to be conscious of the kind of thoughts that you entertain. If you do that, then you are closer to being deliberate in achieving your goal. It sounds a bit very easy, but to most people, you find you wake up early in the morning, or you wake whatever time you want to get up. It is like an autopilot. You are just operating automatically. You wake up, you go have breakfast, you take lunch in the evening, you come back home, you just stay, spend the night. The next day, you don't have any clear-cut dream or clear-cut objective. This is the problem. Now, why am I sharing this information? Because me and you are the same thing. We are one. We are the same. We have feelings, we have souls, we have body, we think. So your success is also my success. I'm sharing this information because I want you to improve. In the process, I'm taking the steps to improve. This is how you should look at this. Whatever I share here, I have done research, I've taken time to put up this together so that you also benefit. I talk about a lot of things, but mainly personal development, leadership development, and team development. You cannot have leadership development and team development without you as an individual improving and developing yourself. And improving and developing yourself starts with your thoughts. Then it comes to how you develop your emotions. The next is your attitude. We will deal with these three components of personal development slowly. Emotions. Emotions are instinctive reactions, how we react at the moment, in the moment, how we react instantaneously when something happens. Now, we have to understand the background to emotions. Thoughts come into our mind. We process those thoughts through our understanding of the environment, and over a long period of time, we create imprint into our subconscious mind. And from there, from how we interact with the environment and how we respond, people see our emotions. It is very difficult subject to explain to the ordinary person outside, learning institutions. Psychologists have detailed, layout of how we come and develop our emotions. But let me put it in a very simple way for everyone who's watching to understand. And this is very key to our development. We are still on the path of developing ourselves, personal growth. So we started with thought. Thoughts have three basic qualities, characteristics. Number one, they are random. And random, they come through our minds randomly. We don't choose, we don't control, and they don't really mean a lot. They just come, and if we don't grow them, if we don't entertain them, they just disappear. And it is from there, those thoughts that we choose to entertain is where our emotions come from. One of the frequent emotions we come across is fear. Fear has made it difficult for many people to live their dream. You fear to take risks. You fear what other people will say about you, public opinion. What will they say when they see you doing A, B, C? That is fear. You fear some things that are unrealistic. They don't exist. You just have that phobia. So we want to go into how we can be in control of our emotions. To start, it is we have a choice on how we react emotionally. We have a choice. That thought that comes into your mind, you have the choice to either entertain it or reject it. That is where the choice comes from. To feel better, live better, relate well with others, and make better decisions, we have to improve our ability to direct our thoughts through our filters, our own filters, so that we are in a position to create lasting and good habits in the end, so that we realize positive outcomes. There is a philosopher. He was an emperor those days in the Roman Empire. He's called Marcus Aurelius. He said, if you are distressed by anything external, The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your own estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. To be in control of how we interpret external events is to have the ability to create positive outcomes. Outside events, things that you cannot control, should not control you, should not determine how you feel. That is in essence what this philosopher is saying. He's saying the outside world should not determine how you respond, how you feel, how you project yourself. Your behavior should not be determined by the outside world. Let me give you an example. In a small village, there was a child, in fact a teenager, was sent to buy gallons of milk, and he took his bicycle to go buy the milk. When he was coming back, this person got involved in an accident, and the bicycle and him and the milk fell on the ground. So people came around and were sympathizing with him. Oh, if you could do this, you could do that, you should be more careful, not to do this, you should have taken care because you are riding a bicycle and you are carrying milk. So one person came over and he said, "Young man, what you have done is not something very good. It is an accident, but let me save your situation. I'll give you some money so that you can go back and get fresh milk. And these people who are standing next to you are naturally not bad people, so they will contribute to the milk you are going to buy." So people started, giving this person small money, small change, and within a short time, the young man accumulated good amount of money, more than in fact he will have sold the milk as profit. So one of the bystanders who was watching came over to the boy and asked him, "What would you have done if that man could not have come and saved your situation?" The young man said, "I don't know. But for your information, this person is my employer. He's my boss. So he has saved the situation." The lesson here, we're not talking about the moral part of the story, whether it is ethical or not for the business owner to do that. What we are concerned about is how you think and project yourself in times of crisis. He has taken to look at it on the positive side, not to mourn over, the crisis and what he has lost and how he will rebuke the young man and all that. He chose to take it in a positive way and get the situation a better way. So people may not always tell you what they are thinking about you, but if you watch very carefully, you will see how they feel about you. The feeling is the uncontrollable part of us. We cannot control our emotions because our emotions are derived from long practiced, over a period of time, long practiced thoughts that have come into our minds. We have entertained them. We have grown them. It's just like a tree. If you plant a seed today, you're not going to harvest tomorrow. You have to wait for some time for the seed to grow and mature over a period of time. So the same way, our thoughts, if we entertain our thoughts, nurture our thoughts, they become our emotions. And the choice is with us, whether to entertain negative thoughts so that at the end we benefit from negative outcomes, or we entertain our positive thoughts. We choose to entertain positive thoughts so that at the end we benefit and positive outcomes come out of it. No one can put you in a difficult situation. It is you who can allow external forces to put you in difficult situation. The choice is with you, and you decide whether you want to live your life the way you want, or whether you want other people to decide for you what to do. There is a quote at the end, I want to mention it to you. Napoleon Hill says, "Whatever the mind of man can think and imagine, it can achieve." And that is the bottom line. Whatever you can think and imagine, you can actually achieve. Whatever you think you cannot achieve, you will not achieve. If it is your first time you are coming across this video, please hit subscribe and turn on notification. Thank you for watching. We are going to talk about attitude. Attitude is, in a very simple way, your settled way of thinking and feeling about the world. How you come across to other people. When other people look at you, they talk to you, they interact with you, how they see you. That is your attitude. The greatest discovery you are going to make, apart from discovering the existence of God, is that you can change. What can you change? You can change your fortunes by changing your attitude. If you want to know about the nature of attitude, how attitude looks like, you need to study two animals. There is the eagle and there is the lion. You will know, and most people have read about it, the eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, while the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. Now, before I go into the details of these two animals, I want to just narrate a small story, a short story. In a small village, there used to live a man and a woman who were married. In their neighborhood was an old lady who used to sell fruits. So every time this couple go out to buy fruit, they buy from this lady. And this man developed a habit of returning one orange to the fruit vendor. And he does it this way. Every time he buys the fruit, he gives out the money, he picks one orange and peels it and takes half of that orange and tests it. The other half he gives it to the lady and says, "Your orange are sour." And the lady says, she tests it and takes it and says, "No, my orange are sweet." And so the man goes home with his wife with the oranges. Every time that happens, the woman, the wife doesn't question. But one day she asked, why do you make fuss of these oranges? They are always sweet. When you are with that fruit vendor, you complain that the oranges are sour. And she tells you, no, the oranges are sweet. And then the man tells his wife, you know, this lady sells these oranges and she may not be able to take the oranges herself because of, you know, she doesn't want to incur any losses. So I give back one orange so that she also has a taste of the oranges she sells. Another lady who, you know, her neighbor, the fruit vendor has a neighbor who sells vegetables. And this lady says, you know, I've noticed when this man comes and buys these oranges from you, he complains, makes fuss out of it. But still, when you are weighing the oranges for him, the balance tilts positively on his side. And she says, no, don't worry about that. This man, what he does is he tries to feed me with my oranges. And so his love tilts the balance, not me. You see now, the attitude of this man is to give. Whatever he gets, whatever he buys, he gives back. And that is his philosophy. Give at least something that you have to those who may not seem to need. A fruit vendor on the face value does not look like someone who needs fruit. But in actual sense, it may be possible that the fruit vendors may not be taking this fruit. So let's continue with the characteristics of these two animals. We are on attitude. If it is your first time you have come across this video, please hit subscribe and turn on notification. Let us continue with the eagle. The eagle flies into the storm. Because of that, other birds run away, and the eagle, when it flies into the storm propels it to higher altitude. And in the higher altitude, the eagle is in a position to see things that other ordinary birds do not see. The other characteristics of an eagle is it flies alone. It doesn't mix with other birds, ducks, you know, chicken and all that. It doesn't. It flies alone. Or if it needs to find a company, it flies with other eagles. And the other thing about the eagles is its vision is very sharp and accurate. From 5 kilometers up in the air, it can see its prey, and very fast it comes down and picks it. The attitude of an eagle is the one of courage. Now let us check. Let us look at the lion. In the animal kingdom, the lion is not the heaviest animal, is not the tallest animal, is not the largest animal, and it is not the cleverest animal. But when it shows up, even human beings get scared because of the attitude it shows, the attitude that is evident from how it looks like. It is always thinking, probably it's thinking, this is food I can eat. You see, this is why you need to have a positive and courageous attitude. The attitude you develop does not happen overnight. From our thinking, we develop our emotions. From our emotions, we develop our belief system. From our belief system, now our attitudes spring automatically from our belief system. And there is only one way. If you can find another way, that is very good. But there is only one way, and I will give you this one free of charge. There is only one way of developing positive attitude, positive emotions, and to be able to select your thinking, the thoughts that you want to dwell on. There is only one way you can do that, and that is repetition. If you want to learn something, there is no other way of doing it. You have to repeat, you have to repeat, you have to repeat, you have to repeat, and then you will master that skill. There is no other way. No one should tell you there is a quick fix, there is a shortcut, none. You just have to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and then you will master the skill. I hope that is very clear. How do you repeat? Sometimes you get distracted. There are a lot of informations, there are a lot of interest, there are a lot of people who want to interfere with your programs. You just have to keep focused. Focus on one thing at a time. There is no room, you cannot multitask. People tell you, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. In a day, you do 10 things. Impossible. You have to program yourself to do one thing, number one. Once you succeed in that, move into the next one. Don't leave this one half, this one half, this one half. At the end of the day, you have done nothing. You have left everything half. Now, on attitude, our attitude determines whether the task we are going for, the task we are going to do, will be successful or not. From the onset, how we frame our mind. Am I going to win this election? If you ask yourself that question, and there is little bit of cloud of uncertainty in your thought, you have to revisit that question again. Because if you don't believe you're going to win, don't try. There's no point in wasting time for people, for yourself, and the resources. There's no point. In any venture, if it is a career, let's say you're going for an interview. If your thinking is not positive, if you are doubtful, if you are not confident, your attitude will show. You will be asked questions. Those questions may not be textbook questions that, there are set answers for them. No, it depends on how you frame your answers and how you come across. How will we turn this company around? The interviewer just asks you, how can we turn this company around to make double-digit profit? If you start talking about, I don't know how we are going to do it, but we will do it. No, you don't know how we are going to do it, but you will do it. They don't go together. Lastly, I want to remind you, you can never be successful in an island where you live alone. You need people. You will be successful with the support of people. People have to come and support you for the cause you are championing. If you do not develop good relationship with these people, forget about it. You won't make it. So, those people who surround you must buy your idea. And they can only buy your idea if they find what they want in the idea. They find you. If you cannot accommodate their interest, then there's no point for them to support you. You have to be very broad-minded to accommodate divergent views and interests. And finally, you have to radiate courage and trustworthiness. In leadership, you cannot tell people stories all the time. You have to radiate courage and trustworthiness. Can you go and conquer that challenge? Of course, yes. How can we do it? People will give you answers. You don't need to generate the answers. You just have to say, we can do it. Remember, an army of sheep led by a lion will always beat an army of lion led by a sheep. If you have not subscribed, please hit subscribe and